I would like everyone to close their eyes. Now, imagine that you are a 6-year-old child. You are woken up early in the morning. Bal shur Robabah. Get up, Robabah. You look around your surroundings and you think, what is going on? The weather is so frosty that you can feel your lungs tightening with every breath. You fall asleep shortly after and you wake up in a whole different world. You can now open your eyes. Hi everyone, my name is Robabah Jafari and I'm a Hazara refugee from Afghanistan. Tonight, myself and my fellow career seeker, Yusofi, would like to take everyone on a short journey. A journey of being a Hazara in Afghanistan to today, where our families are building new lives in Australia for ourselves and our community. I myself do not have joyful memories of my home country. I had only just been born when my father took the dangerous journey to Australia in search of safety and freedom. I was born in Chilbuktui Waqi, where the winter is unforgivingly cold and the summer blazing hot. I spent the first nearly 5 years of my life there. 5-year-old Robabah would wake up early in the morning to ensure that she was the first one in line to get water from the closest stream. Later on, I would aid my mum with the house chores, and in the afternoon, I would take the cattle to graze on the grass. The thought of receiving an education was out of the question, because the Taliban prohibited education for girls. You see, it is difficult to have hopes and dreams when your ethnic group has a death warrant on their name. The Hazaras are an ethnic minority from Afghanistan, and they make up to approximately 20% of the Afghan population. Many in the audience might think that the civil unrest in Afghanistan began because of the Taliban, but the attacks on the Hazara community started in the late 1800s. The persecution of the Hazara community started under the rule of Abdul Rahman Khan, the late king of Afghanistan. During this time, around 63% of my population were massacred, many sold as slaves, and many fled to neighboring countries such as Pakistan and Iran, where the treatment is unfortunately the same. It seems that wherever my people go in that part of the world, they are not welcome and they have to suffer the consequences of a country that does not accept us. After the withdrawal of the Soviet Union from Afghanistan in 1998, the Taliban unleashed a series of attacks on the Hazara community. Opposition to the Taliban was led by a man called Abdul Ali Mazari. This was a man who believed in the importance of education, women's rights, equality, and justice. Unfortunately, Baba Mazari was murdered by the Taliban, and the persecution against the Hazaras continued and intensified. Living in Afghanistan became unbearable for the Hazaras. The Taliban regime intensified and began to gain more control of Afghanistan. In 1998, the Taliban invaded Mazar-e Sharif and massacred around 2,000 to 5,000 Hazaras, and this figure is believed to be higher, where they would conduct house-to-house searches, segregate the Hazaras, and subsequently kill them. This is why my father took the dangerous journey to Australia by boat. For a very long time, we did not hear from him, and we lived in fear, thinking of the worst. Until one day, after many years, we received the best news of all. We would be going to Australia. My father had secured family reunification visas for us all. We would be together again. My mother and my 3 brothers traveled to Pakistan where our visas were arranged, and 6 months later, in 2005, we arrived at Melbourne International Airport. But settling to our new home was difficult. My dad took a few days off of his work as a tiler to help us, but the real lifesavers in this case was my Afghan neighbours. My mum had never used an actual kitchen before, but with the help of our Afghan neighbours, she was able to understand how to use each appliance for their intended use. Looking back, it really amazes me how quickly my mum was able to adapt to the changes. My 3 brothers and I enrolled in a language school, and after that, we started our educational journey. I must admit, throughout primary school, I struggled immensely. My parents couldn't support us because they didn't know English themselves. Slowly but surely, my English began to improve, and it was only in year 10 when I took full control of my learning. I started to attend after-school homework sessions, and my marks began to progress. I began to hold myself accountable for my learning. I'm glad to announce that I officially graduated on the 19th of March with a Bachelor of Arts, majoring in criminology, and simultaneously have just started my law journey by undertaking a Juris Doctor degree at Monash University. For any student graduating from university, the primary stress is how to obtain a graduate role and to successfully begin our career. This stress is even greater for refugee and asylum seeker students. For many of us, extra challenges are faced to successfully transition from university to our professions. These include the lack of professional networks as a result of our parents giving up their opportunity and an education in order to provide for us. Furthermore, there is extra added pressure to make the most out of the opportunity that our parents have so much to create for us. The Career Seekers program is designed to set students from refugee background up for success. Thanks to the organisations who partner with Career Seekers, we are able to gain valuable knowledge, experience, and build our professional network, and to have an encouragement to believe in ourselves. The program has enabled success for the Jafari family. My eldest brother, Muhammad Jafari, joined the program and was part of the first group of students to undertake summer internships. An internship with the Macquarie Group on his CV helped him to find an opportunity to pursue his IT career following his graduation. Soon after, my middle brother, Abdul Jafari, joined the program. Studying a double degree in civil engineering and business, Abdul first interned with PwC, then undertook a number of internships with the Rail Infrastructure Alliance, delivering part of the Melbourne Metro Tunnel project. Upon graduation, Abdul secured a graduate opportunity on this project. Through their positive experiences with the program, my youngest brother, Mason, and I also joined the program, interning over our summer holidays as well as working part-time until we finish our degrees. Mason is pursuing a double degree in civil engineering and business as well, and has interned with the Rail Projects Victoria previously, and has now transitioned over to work with the Rail Infrastructure Alliance. I have interned at Mirvac in the past, and last summer I interned at Insurance Australia Group with the Human Resources team and continue to work with IAG part-time. My internships have allowed me to gain invaluable knowledge, skills, and mentors. The Career Seekers program enables students who join the program to become a family where success is celebrated and support is provided at each step of our journey. As someone who has been living in this beautiful country for nearly 16 years, I can only see the positive contributions that refugees have made to this community. I urge people to give us a chance. There are so many positive refugee stories in the community, and this is mine. Just what like Chimamanda Adichie said, the danger of a single story is that it becomes the only story. I'm grateful that there are opportunities like tonight to share stories of success from the refugee community. One story at a time, we are helping to change perceptions. Thank you for listening to my story and that of my brothers. Eid will now share his story and the hopes of our generations of Hazaras, who thanks to the sacrifices of our parents have been able to pursue our dreams in Australia. Thank you.
Thank you, Robabah, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Yusofi, and tonight I will share a little of my story and explain the opportunities that Robabah and her brothers and me and my brother that have been presented are so significant to our family, community, and our futures. My family have in fact been refugees twice in our lives. Born in Afghanistan, my family was forced to flee to Pakistan because of the persecution the Hazara people faced. From the recollection of my parents' story, crossing the border was a dangerous journey in the treacherous terrain where we could have been caught any minute. Life in Pakistan was not easy. My dad was convinced that this was not the place for the family because of the frequent target killing of the Hazara people. Hence, my dad left on a perilous journey to Australia, where some have drowned or been caught attempting it. My mum was given one of the toughest responsibility of taking care of 3 boys and 1 girl in the absence of their dad. Most of us here can relate to the resilience, the strength of our mothers who went beyond to keep us happy, while our dads went through the hardship of crossing the sea, the mental challenge of just waiting and being separated while in the detention center. Sometimes we would not hear from our dad after a long period. And I often asked my mum about my dad, and she always reassured me that inshallah we will be together one day. After a few years, living in fear of being targeted every day, we get the news that our application for our visa that was lodged by my dad was accepted. We knew our life changed at that moment. We were overjoyed with emotions to be together once again. We knew life would not be easy to start over again in a country where the language is a barrier and culture different. But we knew we would be safe and supported in every aspect of life to feel welcomed. I was 6 years old when I first came to Australia. Even though I had terrible motion sickness on the plane, I was still very happy to finally be here. My dad met us at the airport, and it was the first time we would have been able to hug each other since I was a little baby. I was in awe of the massive differences between Pakistan and Australia. Everything was systematic, organized, and clean. But it took time. It took time to get to adjusted to everything, from learning the English language to not trying to get lost finding my way around. My siblings and I were fortunate to come to Australia and receive top-class education. But as we progressed through our university studies, we were uncertain whether we would be able to find our job by ourselves. We did not know anyone in our chosen profession and had little understanding of how the system worked. We heard stories of people who completed their university studies and still ended up doing unskilled work outside of the profession they had dreamed of. In his third year of university, my brother Mohsin heard about CareerSeekers that help students from a refugee background find professional experience. And he completed his summer internship with Cross Yarra Partnership, working on the delivery of the Melbourne Metro Tunnel project. He continued working with Cross Yarra Partnership whilst finishing his final year of university. And on top of that, he was able to secure a graduate role with the same project. I am also pursuing a career in engineering, and so my brother encouraged me to apply for CareerSeekers, and here I am. Having completed my summer internship with Rail Infrastructure Alliance, working on the delivery of the Melbourne Metro Tunnel project, I am fortunate to continue working as an undergraduate engineer with the same project, whilst also finishing my Bachelor of Electrical and Electronics Engineering. And inshallah, for those graduating this year or the coming years, we will be able to use the experience, the skills, and networks gained through the CareerSeekers partners and the broader CareerSeekers program to secure a graduate role. I am proud to be part of the next member of the generation Hazara community in Australia that have been given opportunities that not only have a huge impact on the individuals, but the community as a whole. We will have the experience, the knowledge, and the connection to help us give back to the community, whether through organizing events or helping the community with our respective expertise. In Afghanistan, Hazaras are too often excluded from educational and professional opportunities. As Robabah has explained, the persecution of our people dates back all the way in the 1800s. For our parents, it was too late to take advantage of the educational opportunities by the time they arrived in Australia. Our parents have struggled to master English, and our fathers have been limited to finding work that does not require formal qualification. The sacrifices of our parents have made to secure safety and opportunities for their children are all engraved in our minds. Many of us here are determined to make the most out of these opportunities, study, work hard, accomplish professional success, and most importantly, support our family as well as others in the community. The CareerSeekers program and their partners are significantly supporting us in achieving these dreams. There are so many examples of how, when given the opportunity, the Hazara people are able to transform their lives as well as rejuvenate communities. A new report released this year by the University of South Australia and Charles Sturt University reveals, I quote, "Port Adelaide was in decline 15 years ago, but the Hazara migrants have transformed the area into a thriving multicultural dynamic hub." This is one of many stories how the Hazara people have helped give back to this country. And I hope with continuing support, we can come together to continue to transform lives. I hope One day there will be reconciliation in Afghanistan and the Hazara people are accepted for who they are. I hope one day children of war-torn countries can enjoy the privilege that I have. And I hope one day we can embrace our differences and together use it to our advantage for our community to prevail. Thank you.